So I heard COVID has really affected the 12-step program up here in Georgia.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of things have changed. It's really brought out virtual meetings, which were a thing. They had them before, but they were very small, and now that is become a go-to for a lot of people that are set in their ways about in-person meetings and things like that. It's really brought 12 steps a long way, especially Narcotics Anonymous, because even to the part of the funding, where if not meeting in person, you're not passing a seven tradition basket.
Right. So how are you paying for the meeting
So
space and
you've
for
had to go virtual
right.
to Cash App or Vimo or one of these avenues that are new. And it's a grateful thing because, we still can get together.
Right.
We still can have fellowship, even though it is virtual,
And you get to meet so many different people. I mean, I was just in a meeting last week with people from England.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in a meeting, and they're locked down in London. They're locked down. So they can't even go anywhere. So I was in a meeting with like 7 women, who were in London. That was an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. But I thought it was so interesting to hear them and to hear, the things that they talk about. Because sometimes too, in our community, we kind of hear like the same things, So this is just broadened the reach so much and made it safe while still being able to stay sober. Because, like we were saying, COVID has really affected the recovery community in such a detrimental way.
I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that just from my friends that are in the opioid field, that the opioid epidemic has really got a resurgence because of this. I know that they say that like I said, then again, I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that the opioid overdose death rate is higher. It's been going up since the COVID hit. Through some of my service positions in Narcotics Anonymous, I know that it has, come down from the next level up that they requested people for 12 steps calls, and that the call centers have needed some people and some more volunteers because it's in demand. It's put a strain on a lot of people in a lot of different ways, even to the point where you've got some people, because you'll go to some in-person meetings and they won't be masked. It's not mandatory. Right. Then you go to some and they're spread apart.
Right.
And they mandatory mask, and addicts don't like change. They like everything. They like, why is this meeting not like this? And
right.
I don't do that over there. Well, that's, each meeting's independent from itself. And that's people have trouble with that. Yeah.
Do you think the effectiveness of the virtual meeting is as good as, the social gathering? Because I come from Florida, and some people down there were like, it's not the same. It's not the same. We can't, there's not a meeting before the meeting. There's not a meeting after the meeting. And some of them, not all of them, but a few of them were saying that sometimes the virtual side, in lieu of COVID, they weren't just getting as much from it. Like, do you think the virtual is as effective as in person yourself? Keep in mind, it's your own opinion.
Oh yeah. I personally don't like them.
You personally don't like virtual?
I don't get.
Say the same thing.
I don't get the same feeling.
Yes.
I don't get the same connection without having a person to talk to. I get a lot more out of the meeting before and the meeting after.
Right.
That's where a lot of my recovery is built from. Now, as far as setting in the meeting and setting in a Zoom meeting, if you're tech savvy and it doesn't take a lot, if you're open-minded and willing, my sponsor loves them. And me and him have had conversation about it. That's what he does. Ones in LA and Atlanta a lot. And, he really enjoys them. I've tried a few, like I said, and I'll still go to some every now and then because my home group split it. We have 2 in-person meetings and we have 3 virtual. And it took us a while to get that right because we were doing it with different accounts and things like that. Then we finally got it unified and sort of got everything going. And it works pretty well now. But it's a new thing. And anything new like that, it takes a little bit of change. And that's something that we don't do good.
Yes,
You know.
absolutely. But you know what? I will tell you though, the first Zoom meeting that I did go to, I remember this was back when everything was shut down, you know, and we couldn't go anywhere. And I hadn't been to a meeting in a while because we were locked down. I think I had to shut my business down for 4 weeks. And I remember that first meeting that I went to, and I remember seeing everybody's faces, you know, that I hadn't seen in so long. And I just cried because I was just so grateful to like see my friends and see, you know, the people that helped me build my recovery. And, you know, so I feel like it is kind of, you know, you definitely have to be intentional on being present in the meeting because it's really easy for us to get distracted, right? Like we're on the Zoom meeting, but we're over here and we're doing this or we're doing that, or our kids are running around, or you know, whatever else. So definitely, you know, to get the most out of a virtual meeting, you have to be intentional on being present.
I mean, for me, it's the same way, even in person. Like, you could go to a million in-person meetings, and if you're not intentional on being present,
True.
and you're staring off into la la land, or you're not, you know, there for the right reasons, and you're there just cause. So I guess it boils down to the individuals and their desires.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One thing, you know, I did go to Zoom meetings when we couldn't meet in person. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that opportunity to have that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the many blessings that we have now. You know, now that one of the readings in Narcotics Anonymous is it says, you know, addicts today are much more fortunate. We are. We're much more fortunate.
Yes.
You know, with the technology and the way to, you know, reach out like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me personally, there's a lot to go into a meeting. And it's sort of like I'm a real process guy.
Like the routine.
So the routine
Right,
of
gotta get ready, gotta go, get there early.
yeah, and
Uh-huh.
the routine in setting in the house is just not the same
No.
for me. It's
Me neither.
you know it's not. I don't know. I'm not motivated as much, and it's a me thing. I know some people that, you know, they really love it. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we will get through this, and now at least we have the option, you know, so that meetings and recovery is widely available to all, whether you don't want to go outside or you love to go meet with your awesome friends and family in recovery. I'm just super grateful that we do have that option.